Hey guys, Carl from Technical Enduro Skill Training School. Here with a brand new 2024 300 EXC KTM, supplied to us by P&H Motorcycles. The training school now works with P&H down in Crawley. They're supporting the training school itself. Great for us because it's local. They supply many other motorcycle brands, so go and have a look. Today will be the first day we ride the 2024 bike. We warmed it up, we've put it through some heat cycles, but we thought we'd give you a quick look and see how we've built the bike, some of the decisions that we've made on the bike, some of the parts that we fitted. We'll be racing Valleys Extreme in 2024 down in New South Wales, and I'll be participating in Red Bull Romaniacs this year in July. If I can stay injury-free, we'll have a good go at it. Silver class, so you know, a lot of the protection parts on here is with that in mind. The bike is almost brand new from the ground up. I think the only thing similar to last year's bike is wheels and brakes, basically, but everything else is different. The bike has a new frame with anti-squat behavior, so it keeps the chassis more balanced under acceleration. The internal gear ratios change significantly, so gear ratios are different. The front end is slightly higher, and so we have associated parts to improve the rider feel for that. Some of the parts on the bike have been supplied by other companies. I now work with Off-Road Tires, which is a tire company. They've supplied SM Pro wheels, they've supplied the tires. They do a multitude of brands, tires and mousses. So whether you're a TRF rider, or whether you're an enduro racer, or a trail rider, or an adventure rider, those guys can look after you. And then I also work with Rutherford Racing. Rutherford Racing is the importers of two-stroke performance, ECU and head upgrade kits. We will be fitting some of that to the bike. It's not on the bike yet, but they also fit Astra bars, and they have a bunch of other parts in the workshop that is worth looking at. Very excited about the collaboration with TSP this year. They have a new device called an ERM, which effectively plugs into the bike and gives you diagnostics. It allows you to play with engine maps, and it actually allows you to manually change the ride characteristics of the bike on the fly if you like. So super excited. I've also got a load of parts here from Dirt Bike Spec, Paul Bolton and Lisa Bolton's shop, mainly for protection. You know, keeping the bike up and running during some rough stuff. Okay, so if I move around the bike, if we start at the front, so you can see we prefer to run the Mitas C19 green stripe front tire. Love that front tire. We run the 90-100 front. It's a bigger volume tire. For everything hard enduro orientated, cambers, roots, steep downhills, tire seems to work really well. We run a relatively firm mousse in the front. Whatever your choice is, I've got a Redbull mousse in the front at the moment, the equivalent of about 14 to 15 PSI-ish. You see Brembo brakes, etc. The great thing on the 2024 KTM and Husky bikes is that they come from the factory standard with a closed cartridge fork. This looks to be an improved version of last year's 6500 cartridge upgrade. So you're getting basically a 1,000-pound upgraded fork as a stock option on these bikes. The 2024 Gas doesn't have this fork, but the Husky and the KTM do. Very excited. I've had the springs upgraded for my weight. I'm a bit heavier. I'm in the mid 90 kilogram range, and so I've gone one up from standard. You'll see that most of the adjustments now on the rear shock and on the fork can be done by hand. They have little twisty knobs on them. That means that you can make adjustments really quick and on the fly, which for me is a phenomenal upgrade. The rear shock, the physical body is shorter, but the internal travel has been increased. So you have a physically shorter shock and a slightly longer internal travel, which means you retain the same rear wheel travel. Gearing is very, very different on the 2024 bikes. The internal gearbox ratio has changed. They've made improvements to the engine, port timing and other things. And so the bikes are pulling longer gearing. So the stock gearing from this bike is 1345. I've actually gone up to 1349 for hard enduro. Haven't ridden the bike much. So we'll do a bunch of testing with different sprocket sizes, front and back, different chain length, and we'll settle on something that we feel works hard. I know some of the guys are running 1247. I know some of the guys are running 1347. Let's wait and see where we end up settling up. I've made a few changes to the bike. So So for protection reasons, I fitted a lot of parts from Bulletproof Designs, supplied by Dirt Bike Spec. You can see a throttle position sensor just there. You can see a power valve protection cover just there. You can see Bulletproof Designs radiator guards. For me, these things are the best money can buy. They are absolutely rock solid. I'm also running an Artifon cage. I'm not crazy about how it fits this year, to be honest with you. The bash guard and the cage doesn't quite line up, and so you might need to drill a couple of holes and make a few modifications in your bash guard. From a bash guard's perspective, we're running AXP Racing. For me, the gold standard of underbody protection. This thing is like a 6 or a 7 mil hard plastic, ABS plastic, molded and shaped bash guard. And this year they've launched a brand spanking new chain block. I compared this thing to the stock chain block, and it's night and day different. This thing is rock solid, double the amount of material of the normal one, and so I'm looking forward to giving that a try. You can also see here, I'm an old man now, I'm in my 50s, so I'm running foot pegs made by Fastway, Promotor Billet, an American company. They have a little extender on the back, and so these are called the EXT foot pegs. You have a couple of fitting options. They have a flip chip. That means you can run the foot peg standard height and standard in the forward position, or you can flip the chip, and that moves the foot peg down and back. I'm running it in the down and back position. You can choose your pin height, short pins or long pins. These are the longer pins to give me the best possible grip. But what makes these foot pegs unique is that they have an extension at the back, which is basically a heel saver. So when you do a jump, or you hit an obstacle really hard and your heel bends back unnecessarily, this saves your Achilles tendon. In my personal opinion, an important thing for older guys above 40, etc. Some people think this would get in the way. Honestly, I've not noticed it getting in the way. When you do drop your heel for certain hard enduro techniques, I tend to move my foot back just an inch or so. I'm lucky, I'm tall, I have the room in my arms to do that. I can still drop my heel pretty comfortably. Also, we cut down the little gear lever. The stock one sticks out quite far. This means it's quite easy to catch it and break it, but also it means you need a lot of foot movement to change gear. Chopping the end of it off makes it better protected, but also actually it's just easier to get to it. You never feel like you're missing it. On the other side here, I'm running an FMF 2.1 exhaust. This tends to give the bike a bit more power. Down below, it smooths out the power a bit more. I'm running the stock front pipe combined with a 2.1 header. Love how the power feels. And then of course, for me, the number one change on any bike is a number one gripper seat cover. This thing is phenomenal. Where you sit is where you stay. Saves your arms massively, reduces arm pump, etc. So number one change on any bike. And then there's one part I really want to talk about, and that is the Astra handlebars. So Astra is a relatively new company. I believe the bars are made out of Italy with some extremely high grade aluminium. What's unique about these bars is they're really flat and they move forward. So they've reduced the sweep on these bars. And what that does is, where you used to have sweep, which brings your arms down, these bars tend to force your arms in a more natural elbows up position. So what I'm finding is that where my grips used to wear sort of on the ends, now with a more natural position, my grips tend to wear more evenly. And so my arms are spread and my elbows are in a good position. It brings your body weight forward a little bit, so you feel like you get better steering out of the bike, more control over the front wheel, etc. They do different bends and different variations, but they all follow the same basic principles. This is one of last year's bikes, a 32 millimeter one. It's really, really low. They do a 30 millimeter version for this 2024 bike. I'm yet to get my hands on one, but I shall be fitting one for sure. And then another small little thing is the Bulletproof Designs throttle housing. This thing is made out of billet aluminium. It is miles stronger than the stock cover. The other thing to be very careful of on these new KTMs is they've recalled the start-stop rocker switch. There's been a few issues with these things starting themselves and flattening the batteries and causing other problems. Right now, you know, we're in the middle of December. These things are on back order, so I've got an aftermarket switch to replace it, but it is something to pay attention to. Yeah, you know, lots of new changes on the bike. I look forward to riding the bike today, and we'll see how we go.